Okay, there we are. Can everybody hear me okay? Cool. So, yeah, I'm still planning on having a stream on Friday, but something came up that could potentially delay that stream. So I thought I would have a stream today for people who might, and just in case something happens. Cool. Looks like everyone hears me all right. So what I was going to do today was basically do Q&A, answer questions or whatever people want to do about different series and things like that. I'm also happy to take voice requests. I was sick earlier, but I'm feeling a little bit better, or I'm mostly better at this point. I have like a little bit of a sniffle, but I can pretty much do everything. If I don't feel good, I'll let you guys know. But yeah. So the other thing I was thinking of doing was doing voice requests and like answering questions as different characters from my series. Um, but yeah, so let's go ahead and get started on questions. So how did I come up with the Og storyline? So Og started off was actually a Reddit post that I saw uh, that was about Ogren and how there was going to be like a big suicide mission thing, and the Ogren that were involved in the mission were really scared. So they had to go get their old commissar, and the old commissar recited children's prayers with them. I can't remember what the book it was from, and I can't find the post again. But I kind of took that and a bit from one of the old codexes about Ogren being afraid of the dark and being crammed into Chimera, and kind of combined that into the first entry on Og. Uh, and then from there, I was like, well, just this is clearly the most popular thing I have on my channel, so I'll make a series on Og. Um, do I have a moment to discuss the word of our Lord and Savior Astrobial Vect? I I have mixed feelings on Astrobial Vect because I like I kind of like him as King Troll of all of Komara. Uh, I really liked him in TTS. He's an interesting character, and I liked his duel with the Star Child. It was both like weirdly intense, but also very silly. Um, but I think he's also 40k goes off the rails when they're trying too hard to make characters badass, and Asdrubal Vect has fooled. It's the old phrase of you can fool some of the people all the time. You can fool all of the people some of the time, but Asdrubal Vect fools all of the people all of the time, to the point of it's hard for me to buy some of the stuff that he's done recently. But I still like it. I generally like him as a character. I think his story is very interesting to come up from nowhere as from being a slave and then. Uh, Hello, question. What did you do to the heavy? I don't know what you mean. Hey man, hope you're doing all right. I'm doing better. I was fairly sick. Fortunately, pretty much the worst days of my sickness were when I wasn't recording. Um, I don't have the Rona. Um, I just probably have a cold. What kind of tank from 40k would you like to drive in real life? Um, yeah, Baneblade. I mean, Baneblades are pretty awesome. I like having lots of guns and exploding things. Um, and yeah, I'm trying to think of other tanks that are there. Um, Yeah, Baneblade is pretty awesome. Just the sheer amount of firepower and armor and craziness about it is pretty good. So let's see. To have time to do a story about a princip, um, so like a princip of a Titan, that certainly could be a thing I do eventually. I got to get an idea for a story, um, but it certainly could be interesting. So Og got you into Warhammer. How did I first get into Warhammer? Just finished first Ogre today. Well, congratulations. Welcome to the hobby. Um, I got into Warhammer through Dawn of War. I had heard about Warhammer and I kind of knew what it was about for a while. Um, I didn't quite understand why people thought it was really cool, but I played Dawn of War, one of the later ones. Um, I don't think it was Soulstorm. It was the one before, right before Soulstorm. Um, but I had a lot of fun with it, and that kind of got me into the setting, which then eventually got me to doing this channel. Um, yeah, I think it was Dark Crusade. I think it was Dark Crusade. Um, I think it was when they're on. I don't remember when they're on Lorne 5 or Kalrava. I don't remember. It's been too long. It has been over a decade since I played the game. Um, how smart will Og get if he gets augmented? Um, they're not real clear on how much smarter Ogrins get if they're made into boneheads. Um, but he's he's probably going to better understand things. Um, he's fairly insightful as it is for an Ogrin, but should he go through the augmetics, he will just have a better understanding of like his place in the Astra Militarum and like what he like. He'll just understand more stuff. Um, oh yes, I do have a Patreon. I'm at Noman 40K is the Patreon. Um, you're certainly welcome if you want to support me. You can sign up there. I do right now. The things that are available are as I'm uploading new videos, there'll be videos that are ad free put up on there. I do intend on doing some more content for Patreon, but I've been fighting like a bug for a little bit, so that kind of got sidelined. I have a couple of ideas, and they'll go up once I kind of get around to doing them. Um, let's see. Oh, can I? So that's reminding Patreon. And can I do what's wrong with Gits needs more DACA into Emperor voice? Yeah, I can do that. What's wrong with Gits? It needs more DACA. Okay. Let's see. Do you think Og story, the old commissar's dog, is a cyberhound? I looked up, like, I was like, is he going to be a cyber mastiff? And what I thought a cyber mastiff was is not exactly what Brutus is, because a cyber mastiff is essentially a robot dog. It is not like a dog with some augmetics. It was like occasionally on primitive planets they'll have like a dog that has some armor on it, and that's like what a cyber mastiff is. Um, he might be an augmented canid, but he's probably just a canid. Commissar Gallus was very big on training, and he kind of equated raising and training a dog with raising and training Ogrins. What's my Tau voice? I don't have. I'm figuring it out. I'm trying to figure out something that isn't just a ridiculous Asian stereotype. So I do want to do Tau stories, but I am not sure what my Tau voice would be. Will I keep the same voice for Og, if and when he's a bonehead, you'll have to find out. Um, my prediction is he probably wouldn't change that much. Your voice doesn't change. Um, you're making me want to get back into Warhammer 40K and play Orcs of all things. I hate it. It's something that I actually wish that um, Games Workshop understood better. That the thing about their product that's really good is the setting, and I think they would be wise to do something along the lines that Lucas did with Star Wars back in the days of the extended universe, where they kind of opened things up to the fan community to be able to produce content and that sort of thing, because it generates free enthusiasm for their product. So I don't know why they don't do that. Hello, Mr. Noman. Hello. I'm kind of going back and forth on here. Have I seen Flash gets 50K animations? Not only the new ones, but versus furries is also Space Hulk. Thoughts? Um, I have seen the Flash gets animations with the Black Templars. Um, the how many are there? Three that involve furries I have seen. I haven't seen all of Flash gets. I didn't know if they had other stuff, but I've seen it. There, it's very silly. I saw the one where they invade the furry planet, the Sonic one, and then recently the one where they're questioning a furry. I thought they were very silly. Um, let's see, how much so that Orktober is every how much so that Orktober is every month. Uh, Orktober is kind of every month for me. Yeah, I like orcs. I like producing orc content. It's easy to write orc stuff because you just write people but make it dumber. Just make everything stupider. Um, am I an orc? Uh, no, I am. I have an orky side of me. I essentially kind of have like an orc that lives in my head and tells me to smash things occasionally. I mostly ignore him, but sometimes it's good to be an orc. Sometimes it's a good idea to have a part of you that's not afraid of anything and ready to smash stuff. Am I a gamer? I used to be more of a. I am a gamer. I really like board games. I've been getting into Twilight Imperium, but a lot of my gaming has taken a backseat to other things. But I played some computer games as well. Will Og regret becoming a bonehead? Well, it's not clear that he's going to become a bonehead. So, and it's hard to say what. Like, I'm not gonna reveal things that may or may not happen in the story. Let's see. Let's see. Would Kadak-chan Jungle Fighters prefer Steel or Echo products? Oh my goodness. I used to actually know what Steel's pretty good. Um, we always used to use Steel when I did some maintenance work back in the day. I didn't really do maintenance work. I did some groundskeeping stuff, and I used to prune trees for a guy, and I used Steel, which I really liked. If Og is a bonehead, will he get a new squad? Again, I don't want to. I'm willing to answer stuff about characters that are not about events that might be coming up. I'm willing to. Uh, I'm willing to answer other sort of things. Um, I don't want to. Let's see. What is my gender? I am male. Everyone. I do actually have a couple of female fans, but by and large part, Warhammer is pretty male dominated. Um, Games Workshop has changed so much since the 80s. Yes, it has. Happy New Year's to everyone, anyone celebrating it. Stay safe. Yes, absolutely. Please be safe. Um, I'm pretty much just staying in and going home, going to bed early. I don't. I don't want to re-aggravate my illness. Recommend Flash gets Space Hulk in their Inquisitor animations. Definitely will check that out. If we all believe he's an orc, he will become an orc. That's only if you are all orcs too. And you'd have to get a bunch of other orcs to believe it too. Will I branch out into Age of Sigmar? I don't like it, but I think the story and lore are ace. Age of Sigmar, I don't know that much. I didn't know that much about the fantasy setting, and I know less now that Age of Sigmar is a thing. I don't know what's going on with the plot. I know the world blew up, but I don't know what's going on now. It's certainly something I'm not against eventually doing a story on. Hey man, love your videos. You should try and do a crossover with Voldemort and or Major Kill in 2021. I sort of talked about this in my last stream. I like Voldemort, and I would and Major Kill and other. Oh, holy cow! From Blasto for the Emperor. Thank you very very much for the for my first super chat. That's super exciting. Thank you very much. Let's see, where we got it. So as far as doing something with Voldemort or Major Kill or other Warhammer creators, I'm kind of still on the point of building up my following. And if people like my stuff, or if they want to work with me or anything like that, I'm certainly willing to talk to people and figure out what they would want to do. But I don't want to like impose myself on other people or bother them. Like that's kind of where I am. I want it to happen naturally. I don't want to do it because I don't want to like force my way onto other people's channels. So Tau voice idea, just do voice here, but with immense snobbery and self-righteousness. It's certainly an idea. I just have to make it sound different than the snobby self-righteousness of Eldar. Let's see. I used to play Imperial Guard back in the day. I might play a proper army this time if I ever get back. Don't know how the meta is right now, but I hazard a guess the Guard is still trash. I haven't heard that Guard is trash. I'm way out of the meta. I thought Guard was kind of mid-tier because they were relatively popular, but I don't know. Age of Sigmar lore is awesome. I'll have to go check it out. I do want to learn some more about that. Ha, didn't miss this one. Yep, welcome Sergeant Major Payne. You did not miss this one. I have to admit that your vids got me interested in doing 40k. Not sure if orcs or guard, but if I do guard, I got to have ogrins. That's been a lot of people have been saying that kind of thing of like they like my stories, so it makes them want to get into that sort of thing. Again, something I really wish Games Workshop would understand is they push Space Marines, which is fine. I love Space Marines. I am not going to be mad at Games Workshop for pushing their most popular product, but if they make good lore for anything, it'll sell. Like it makes people excited. Could do a Slavic. You do a Slavic accent for Commissar. Doing an Asian accent for Tau is not wrong in any shape or form. Yeah, no, it isn't. But I don't. There is a kind of accent. Like I like Vladislav because I'm fairly confident I could do like a decent sounding Slavic accent for him. I'm worried that my Asian accent would sound like 1940s, Looney Tune cartoons, like pretty bad. That might be something to try in the future. I'm not afraid of doing an Asian accent. Let's see. Shared your work with Voldemort Group. I hope it got you some new viewers. There's definite crossover. Because I've definitely commented on Voldemort stuff since having my own channel get reasonably successful, and people will comment on that. And I've seen a couple people who are on my stuff here comment on Voldemort's videos. So there's definite crossover, which makes sense. Like we do similar things, but let's see. Jokara will appear or have their own series. I kind of like them. I do like the monkey people, the ape people. They're kind of like orangutan people, I think. Maybe maybe. I want to. I just finished off Vladislav and Blockhead. I want to. I want to figure out what I want to do to start a new series, but we'll see. The Krieger took a bolter round to the chest. Yes, he did. He's not doing too hot though. Imperial Knight, will you make a second part of the Primorks which plays after the Horus Heresy? Everything's part of the saga of the Emperor, which is in my playlists. Things will continue. The Primorks is actually part of a series. It's kind of weird how I have the Emperor series put together, but it is kind of in order the way it's set up. Mike S., are you a fan of the Emperor? How to talk the speech, by the way? Yes. I love that. I love TTS. I think it's great. I think they've done a lot of really cool stuff with what was originally kind of a way to joke on and spoof the setting, and make fun of how terrible the Imperium is. And now it's become like a really nice story that I'm like excited for. Don't know. Let's see. What's the hardest voice for you? Do any hurt to do? If I'm really yelling doing an orc voice, that can wear me out pretty good. The hardest thing to do as far as voices go is recording and then doing a bunch of voices in a row to like change my voice every single time to do a different character. Or if I have a bunch of characters, like I got 5 orcs that are talking, and I have to make them all have different sounding orc voices. That's a challenge, but none of them really shred my vocal cords unless I do them wrong. See, Forge World are coming back to Warhammer. That's cool. I like Forge World models. They have some really beautiful. Models. Congrats on my first super chat. Thank you. I'm like way behind on everything here. What would Gutsmangle's Wa color scheme be if one would start building an army based off him? It is said early on in one of the Gutsmangle's boys stories, but he's a Bad Moons. He's got yellow and black, and he has an orc skull with 2 crossed cleavers underneath it. That's his thing. Maybe I've said that. I wonder if the lion will wake up anytime soon. Sleepy boy. I hope he will. The lion being the next Primarch to get up, I think, is probably what Games Workshop is going to do. I was actually surprised he didn't come back first, but I guess I'm not really surprised. Gilliman, the Ultramarines Primarch, came back first. What are you going to do if your commissars are black? That's such a touchy subject. Like, I wish I could just do voices, whatever, but there is sort of a line that people that people aren't okay with, which I wish was less of a thing. I wish it wasn't weird to. I wish there was ways to do kind of different accents that were respectful. But it's such a touchy subject right now, and I don't want to stick my foot in the culture wars right now, or like get in. I don't want to do that. I do. So I'm going to do I'm going to avoid things that are controversial. Like it's not worth it for me to try to do. Let's see. So, hi, I am the crossover. Ah, yes, for Voldemort. Cool. Leave him sleep. Lamenters will have a wholesome fate. You will have to find out. The Monkey Boys fight for the Emperor? Maybe. Never. Is this the meme stream? I've heard the term meme stream. I actually don't know what a meme stream is. Just popping in to say hi. I like your work and say that you have changed my view on Ogrins And if anything happened to Og, I would kill everyone here and then myself. You'd be surprised how many people have commented that, have done that meme of, if anything happens to Og, I will kill everyone on here and then myself. Um, Warhammer Noob here. Really enjoyed your storytelling. Looking forward to the future. Thank you very much. Hello, Noman. I hope you're well. I'm doing pretty good. I'm feeling okay. Um, I'm running at like 95, 97%. So almost back to completely being fine. Jason England, will you be making mixtures of your custom character, uh, like the filthy mouthed Aussie Major Kill, or are you doing longer sets like Arc? Um, Making mixtures. I not sure what you mean for for that with that question. Um, love your stuff. I'm censoring things because I want to be able to. Not that it really matters, but keep YouTube happy. Hope you become more successful than you are now. Thank you. Request Og's voice. Okay, let's go ahead and do this. Ooks. No, I don't like oaks. They taste funny. Commissar says that I can't keep eating them. Me too, man. Hey, Nom. Love your work. Thank you very much. Hey, John. Mackenzie says hi. Therese. Well, I'd prefer people didn't know my actual name. Um, but hello. Have you played Battlefleet Armada 1 or 2? I have not. I've seen them. I've seen them played, but I have not. I have not. I haven't played them myself. Og became everybody's baby here. Yeah, everyone's very protective of Og. I think a lot of people are. Uh, the Webwa. Yeah, I took me a little while to come up with that. Um, I'll take a look. I don't have a ton of time for gaming, but I will try. Um, do I believe I will need to find more people to do voices for some videos? Maybe. I'm not sure. People have approached me about trying to do voices. It's just I'm trying to crank them out at a certain pace, and coordinating with other people takes longer. And I had to figure out like what I would want to do and what voices I'm not as good at doing. But Og's gonna join the Flesh Eaters. Maybe some of his connections with the Lamenters. You got the Blood Angels connection there. It's, only a few steps from Lamenter to Flesh Eaters. They're totally the same. Um, Games Workshop Space Orcs are based on English soccer hooligans. Yes, yes, I knew that they're basically a class joke in England. Um, have I considered ways of advertising my Patreon A/C more than you do currently? I've thought about it. There's certainly more things I want to do. Um, I definitely want to expand benefits on that sooner. And that's a thing I want to do that I'm kind of kicking my cold and we're able to put more energy into things. Greetings and salutations. Really enjoy your story. Thank you. Og is the redeeming factor for the Imperium. There are decent people in the Imperium. They're just a lot of people that are bad, that are in positions of power, um, which is it's not unlike things are in the real world. People who are bad bosses ruin a lot of things. Let's see. What is your opinion on homebrew guardsman regiments? Actually, don't like. I like people doing their own thing because Warhammer's so big. Uh, it's good to make your own thing. I saw one guard unit that I really liked. Baltimore actually advertised models for it, which was a rebellion that, because of reasons, the people who were fighting were like the women who had survived. And like they had their kids and things, but they were kind of off in the hills being led, and so it was like introducing a bunch of female guard units. And I don't have the link to me off the top of my head, but I liked that as a concept, and I really think they should make more female guard units. Let's see. Let's see. Can't wait for Guts Mangle's boys get crumped by the Men of Iron. Any ETA on the next video on his antics? Coming up soon. I try to keep the rotation, like things that I haven't done for a little bit, are kind of the next thing up on the list. Unless I'm like my brain is fried and I can't do anything on that. I'm going to write something that's easier to write. But Guts Mangle's boys should have another entry fairly soon. Um, let's see. Do I load Instagram as well? I do not. I I I do not upload on Instagram. I'm not on Instagram. I've said it before. I have said before I write a bit. May I do a tiny story on Og? Yeah, like I'm fine with people taking my stuff and doing their own thing with it. Again, if you do anything with Og or any of my characters, like cite me. But like I don't own anything on here because it's all in Games Workshop land. So like yeah, I don't mind people doing stuff with my characters. Just cite me in it. So. I'd like to paint a mini for you. Won't be able to send it, sadly. Send me your 3 favorite colors and symbol. That will be a Space Marine. Um, big green. Let's see, green. I like green. Uh, I don't know if I'm trying to think of 3 favorite things, but 3 favorite colors. But I don't know how good it would be in a Space Marine. I guess green, blue, black are the 3 colors that kind of come to my mind, but I don't know if that's going to make a decent looking pattern. But thank you. That'd be super cool. Got to know who's your favorite Chaos God. Nurgle's awesome because Nurgle actually cares about you. As awful and twisted as Nurgle is, he is a weird sweetheart and he's grandfather Nurgle. We'll make some stories from a Trader Legion's perspective. I definitely want to. Traders are hard because being chaos is so inhuman. Um, it's a little harder to get into the mindset of somebody doing the despoiling than it is for people who are trying to like hold the line. Um, but it might be like there's a couple ideas. I have a couple of legions that I'm more into that I could probably do a story from their point of view. Um, do you like a bacon bab? I don't know what that is. Man, take your time. I'm sure the people here would prefer that over constantly pumping out videos. True, but like there people have been very encouraging, and they have said, look, we're willing to wait. We want you to make good stuff. But the other thing is like this is now what I'm doing for my job. And if I'm not making videos regularly, then I'm not. I don't. Then that cuts into my income. Um, so yeah, I can take it easy. I can sort of do it, but there are reasons that I should keep up my production if I'm not, unless there are reasons that I shouldn't. Um, let's see. Don't worry, I will make it work. Cool. Look forward to seeing what you come up with. You can definitely share things. I also do have a link um, to a Reddit page, which is a fan area for me. So for my stuff. So if you wanted to, you can also post stuff there. Um, let's see. I think so. I'll post it on here after we're done in the comment section. Cool. Just did a search for green space marines. Looks okay. Yeah, there are green space marines. Like the salamanders are green. There are a couple of decent looking ones. Are these orcs feral? Which I don't think I've done a story about feral orcs yet. Um, what do you think the Adeptus Custodes is doing? Um, wrecking people. uh, they're going out and doing the Indomitus Crusade, I assume. Um, the symbol might do a rendition of the channel logo. That'd be cool. Um, kind of the skull figure. Um, bacon roll. Do I like? I guess so. I like bacon. Bacon's good. I actually can't eat a whole lot of bacon just on its own. That's a little much, but I do like bacon in things. It's pretty good. um, I already went full time. Congrats. Yep, I went full time. I was working at a restaurant, which I'm still working at the restaurant, just only Saturdays. Bringing in a couple extra bucks, but I it was taking up too much of my time, and I wasn't having any fun, and customers could be difficult. So only doing it one day a week is fine, and it's the day where we make the most money. So ever thought of doing a video on car skins? Maybe. There's so much stuff in Warhammer that I haven't touched on yet. I'm kind of writing things as I get inspired to do stuff. I think one of the more important points is making sure you don't overwork yourself and mess up your mental health. I'm doing okay. I appreciate that people are concerned about that. I have a pretty good gauge on my own limits. And right now, as much as I am making a lot of things, I don't feel terrible. Um, it's like I feel like I got to push myself to get things done, but it's like a good kind of pushing. Like I'm getting good things done and making progress. It's like, right now, getting up and writing and recording is like getting up and working out. I feel good having done it, and the only reason I wouldn't do it is because of being lazy. I want to see an Og figure. Oh, want to see an Og figure made on the Reddit page. Is it up on the Reddit page? Or are you going to post it here? I don't know if you can post a picture here. Thank you for a good laugh vids in a grim darkness of future future. Green can be funny. Yes, the orcs are very very funny. I like them as a counterpoint to like the grim darkness of the far future doesn't work if you don't have a little bit of levity. It's like you can't take this all so seriously because it just grinds you down. You need to have things to balance it out, and I think the orcs do it. Uh, idea: slice of life story of a lamenter and a salamander trying to take care of their rebellious Primaris teenager. Would that be a chimera? Uh, a chimeric gene seed of lamenter and salamander. Um, I definitely want to do more slice of life stories, and I want to have some things with Space Marines as the main characters. Um, request awful voice, good stuff. I don't know what an awful voice would be. Let me see if I can. What's my creepiest voice I could do? Oh, good stuff. That's an awful voice. I think that's a pretty awful sounding voice. Grim darkness of the far future. There's no man who narrates the universe. I got to narrate everything in the universe now. That's a lot. Do you know how much lore there is in 40K? Thank you. What is my full time job now? My full time job is being a YouTuber. I'm also in school right now. Let's see. 25th like is from me. Now I need a T. The Emperor is doing a better job than Emperor so far, by the way. Well, he has the benefit of seeing everything that the Emperor did, especially with Malkadork guiding him. So he might do better, he might do worse. It's not clear yet. Question for the Emperor's Big Mech, if he's there. How much scrap metal does it take to power the Golden Throne? Oh my goodness. How much scrap metal? It's not. I was kind of thinking it was Wa powered. It's not so much how much scrap as how shiny the scrap is to be able to be a conduit for the Wa that powers it. That'd be kind of the way I would think about it. And I don't mind answering that question because I don't think I would. I don't think I'd ever explain how the Golden Throne works. It operates on stupid orc logic. But let's see. A so Big Mech. Let me get a Big Mech voice. How much scrap does it take to power the Golden Throne? It's not about quantity. It's about quality. That means how shiny it is. 1,000 Was per day. See, the cool thing about orcs is they're all a little bit psychic. So you don't necessarily have to kill 1,000 psychers. You need Wa energy, which just needs more orcs. More orcs means more Wa energy. You just need enough orcs to be able to power it. Do I have any plans to write a full novel? My plans currently are to continue doing kind of these episodic piece by piece stories and eventually have like long series that add up to novellas and short stories and novels and things like that. If I were ever to be like Games Workshop's like, hey, write us a novel, I guess I'd do it. I don't know. I don't know what I would do a novel on. It's kind of easier to write things piecemeal and release them than it is to like write everything and release everything as one big story. Um, Watching the intro to Star Trek a couple days back made me laugh when Shatner said to boldly go where no man has gone before. Yep, yep. My name has a lot of has a lot of jokes to be made out of it. More orcs, more stonks, pretty much. More og is mostly more stonks. If I want views, I just make an og video. But I'm also like I want people to get invested in other stories as well, because eventually the og story will end, and I don't want that to be the only thing that people like from my channel. Spork Morkines. I'd buy an og book or comic. Yeah, I like Og as a character. He definitely reaches people on a number of different levels. I, you know, wouldn't say no to writing an Og book or working with somebody on a comic. Not a great artist as far as like drawing, but I wouldn't mind that. I read Gav and Bob that you recommended. I can definitely see the inspiration for Og. I actually started writing Og stuff before I read about Gav and Bob. Um, it is not directly uh, is not a direct inspiration for Og, but now I have read the story, so like yeah, it's an inspiration going forward on how I want to handle things. Um, but it's a little bit different. It's a little bit different. It does help me figure out different ways of dealing with Ogrins. Speaking of the Emperor, will there be a Blood Ravens chapter copy? Um, Pretty much everything. Well, right now they're in the heresy, so pretty much the only space morons that there are the legions. Um, will the Emperor's story echo that of the Emperor so much that even successor chapters, thousands of years down the line, will continue to follow that path that the Imperium has followed? Maybe. I don't know. What do you think about a story from the perspective of Warlord Titan? I've gotten that question to do a request to do a story from the perspective of a Princeps, and I think I could do it because I just finished off Vladislav and Blockhead, um, which had the perspective of a Titan in it, though Karnagog was not a major character. Like he existed, and we didn't get a whole lot of his perspective. Um, but I think I could get into the mindset of a Titan. Let's see. Can't wait to find out how Og gets on with the las cannon load, aim, shoot, load, aim, shoot. Yep, it'll be coming up. It'll be, if all goes according to plan, it'll happen on Monday. Stelly Ravis. Hey, Noman, longtime DM here. Would like to congratulate you on your work. You're actually a pretty good writer and voice actor. Absolutely be confident in what you're doing. Yeah, everyone's feedback has been pretty good. Um, I think what I'm doing is pretty good. I think I can do better. There's always room for improvement. Um, Ever thought of a story from the perspective of an Alpha Legionnaire? I am willing to do a story about the Alpha Legion, but I think it would be a big mistake to actually explain their perspective because so much of their mystique and mystery is about whose side are they on and what is their plan and what are they doing. Um, so I might do an Alpha Legion story, but I don't think I would ever explain what the heck they're doing. Have I ever gotten any mean comments and what were they? Um, I've gotten a couple, but they're not like mostly they're not very coherent about what they're talking about. Um, I think completely mean-spirited people aren't terribly bright, and a lot of the stuff that people say that like is just mean, it just doesn't make any sense. I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about. Um, I don't think this is meant. I think the closest thing people aren't really mean, but people have gotten really spirited in their discussion of the video I have, which is a guardsman tries to be reasonable. There are pages and pages and pages of people arguing back and forth about whether or not the guard uses strategy or whether the things that I listed as reasonable uh, were it would are actually things that the guard does or that they should be doing. That I it's fine because the more people comment on it, the more it's engaged with, and the more people see it. But I'm just kind of impressed that I did like a dumb meme video, and it is hotly discussed. So I guess that's then that's not even really mean. It's just people getting passionate about stuff. Not very many people are mean. That's like a couple, but again, I don't remember what the heck they say. It's not very interesting. Thinking of doing fan art of Og and the gang. What is the canon appearance for the characters? I'm assuming Gallus is older and Fletcher's younger. Is Og bald? Stuff like that. I kind of imagined Og wasn't bald. That he's fairly young because he's new to the platoon. I kind of pictured Og having like messy dark hair. Yeah, Gallus is older than Fletcher, and Fletcher's kind of a young, spry faced kind of guy. Um, let's see. Do I've ever thought about making my own chapter of Marine Guardsmen regiments and narrating their experience? Um, I certainly could. I'd have to come up with a good idea and like then figure out what story I'd want to tell. No man must be Omegon. That laugh is suspicious. I will not answer anything related to that. My desire to not explain the Alpha Legion's actions has nothing to do with me being Omegon. Don't you know we're all Alpharius? Not sure if you've went into details about that stuff. Oh, for what they look like. Um, I'm not particular about what exactly the characters look like. Um, like I think some stuff about the way they look, like details wise, like yeah, I would say Fletcher's younger, Gallus is older. Og I would see as having hair, but like I don't really describe what characters look like as much and try to define them more by the way they act. Um, what are the Alpha Legion doing? Trying to decide what to do. Well, that's kind of where I am. So maybe I am Alpha Legion. Um, Grim Dank. I like the Grim Dank Reddit forum if that's what you're talking about. I like memes. I think memes are fun. Just give a pile of memes. It's just free entertainment forever. Also, have I considered writing something about the Sisters of Battle, or are they generally not your area of interest? I like the Sisters of Battle. It would be a matter of having an entire story where I'm doing female voices and making them all different from each other. I think I could do it. I have some ideas for Sisters of Battle. I just want to figure out what exactly I do. Um, since Vladislav and Blockhead's over, I'm going to find a new series to replace it. Um, so I am looking into what I want to do next. The Alpha Legion are interesting. The prophecy that was that they'd join the heresy. If they join the heresy, Horus will win. They did, and he didn't. So I think they're 100% doing their own thing and are not completely chaos. I'm interested to see what GW does with it. I'd like to find out eventually what their plan is with that. What's my favorite type of squig? Um, Squig can do anything. I think attack squigs are pretty cool. I also like face eating squigs. That's pretty cool. Have I ever thought of making a Unification Wars video? Oh, that could be interesting. The Emperor fighting techno barbarians. I might do something about that. I don't know that much about the Unification Wars other than they happened and the Emperor won, and it ended with some unfortunate things happening to Thunder Warriors. Actually, yeah, doing female voices sounds hard. I mean, I have female characters, a couple of them, but it is an issue of sounding good. You could make a Sisters of Battle video about a soldier telling it to someone. I could. I'll figure out what I'm going to do. Over their over their friendship will never die. Hope not. Of this Vladislav and Blockhead, the friendship will never end or never die. Alpha Legionnaires are loyalists, but they think they are traitors. I think Alpha Legionnaires are suffer from Zinch syndrome of their plans interfere with their other plans that are dealing with other plans that are plans of their plans. Um, I think personally there need to be more female models in 40K. The range of guards there is probably as many women and men. Yeah, I'm definitely down for that. People have talked about um, being more inclusive in. I'm pretty much down for like inclusivity. I just think the way it's generally handled is very very flat. It's like you have to have these kind of characters, but they all need to be like bland and boring. It's like no, I want more. I want more all different kinds of people. The Imperium has all of the humans in the galaxy. It's probably a lot of different groups of people from different ethnic groups and different genders. Everything. Everyone's got to fight. On the topic of traitor legions, I cannot wait for the day the Iron Warriors stop being a bunch of children in power armor. Um, oh boy. I just had flashbacks to Hansuo. I wouldn't call him a child. I would say that the Iron Warriors can be very vicious. I think Iron Warriors can be interesting. They're one of the more interesting traitor legions. Have I considered doing a story on a PDF trooper on what it's likely the worst day of his life? That's definitely an idea of do an invasion before the guard even gets there, and you're just some jerk dealing with like a chaos invasion or whatever it is. The best guardsmen come from hive worlds like Necromunda. Uh, yeah, you kind of need to be from a bad place to be a good guardsman. The Thunder Warriors died honorably. I have no idea what you're talking about. Yeah, that's probably what happened. I misread my official Imperial propaganda. Do I play 40k? If so, what faction or factions? I will be honest. I haven't played much recently. Some of that is just there's nobody to play with around anymore. Um, when I did play, I played orcs and tyranids and a bit of guard. I have played Space Marines a bit, um, but as far as things I've actually owned, I had an orc army and a Tyranid army. What are top three and bottom three Primarchs? I guess it's pretty much a matter of honestly my top three and bottom three are like the ones I know the most about and the ones I know the least about. The more you find out about the Primarchs, the more you like them, um, or are interested in them. Uh, Angron's not very interesting, unfortunately. Mortarion, I kind of like him before he falls to chaos. He's less interesting once he falls. Um, let's see. I know nothing about Ferrus Manus. I know people really like him, but I know like literally nothing about him, so he's kind of down to the bottom just because he's got metal hands. That's literally all I know about the Iron Hands. Um, I like Gilliman. I like Vulcan. Uh, I think Magnus is really interesting. Like I like most of the Primarchs. Literally the ones I quote don't like are ones I don't know anything about or don't know that much about. Um, when you do a story, do you have an end in mind, or you just go until you're out of ideas? I have an end in mind. I generally have an end in mind of what's going to happen, or at least I have the end of the next part. The idea, now how I get there can change a little bit with the actual writing process. Um, there need to be more official regiments generally. I assume this means guard regiments. Yes, there need to be more. They like keep cutting things down, which I don't think is a good idea for GW. I don't think they need to release new models for everything, but I think they need at least fluff that supports a lot of stuff. Like I get they're kind of limited in what they're going to make, but I think there are ways they can make a lot more money than what they're doing. They're not thinking of their IP the way they should be. Um, I think it was cool that Big E chose to make all of the Primarchs of different races. Um, yeah, I think that's not as represented in the art, but I kind of like as far as people that are definitively not white or otherwise like a weird color. There's not that many, but um, let's see. PDF Trooper versus Tyranids. That'd be pretty rough. Probably wouldn't be Tyranids since I'm doing a Tyranids heavy story with Og. Have I seen Warhams? I like Warhams a lot. I am so far behind in it though. I need to catch up. I'm like in episode 10, 9? I don't remember. I got to find out where I am. Um, this TTS is a pretty decent replacement. Yeah, I like Warhams. Yeah, Warhams is kind of what's tiding me over until more TTS comes out. I like it. I think Pie Brain's really funny. I also like Lorne. The longer it goes on, the more I like Lorne. Done a video about the invasion of Tyrann by the Tyranids. Um, I mean, I think Eliphas already did a really good video on it's not the tyrannic war. It's more doing the perspective of Kryptman and his Death Watch company on dealing with the Tyranids, of dealing with a Hive Fleet behemoth. Your favorite is? I lost the thread of this one. The Man Emperor of Mankind or the God Emperor of Mankind? I'm highly entertained by the Man Emperor of Mankind, and I really like Decius's speech on that. Um, for the meme, I'm gonna say God, the Man Emperor of Mankind. Fewer Primaris lieutenants, more anything else. Pretty much, like, I don't think that GW is wrong to focus on Space Marines, but I think the reason other things don't sell as well is because they don't. You just need to make people like invested in stuff. People will spend money if they like something, and you give good fluff, people will think it's cool. That's literally how everyone spends their money is they want to play things that are cool and then just keep things balanced as best you can. Um, they add more regiments. They just don't add their fluff like the Obsidian Jaguars, which they introduced but killed off. Yeah, it's a hard thing because there's a lot of fluff. Um, there's a lot of fluff to manage, and I don't quite know what all goes into the decisions of what happens to different regiments and different groups. You should make one about the Mechanicus, who follows the ideology of Lang from Master of Mankind. I haven't read Master of Mankind. Um, I want to get a bunch of book recommendations at some point. I might do that as like a community thing. If I put it up on the community tab and people give me their book recommendations, and I might see if I can buy some. Space Marines can change color. Color race in 40k is dumb. PDF versus Necrons would be good. Yeah, I want to do a Necron story. I kind of do want to do a Necron story. Um, like to see a Thousand Suns story. I love them space Egyptians. I like Thousand Suns also. I think Ariman's quest is interesting. PDF versus Necrons is not a fight, it is a massacre. It can be. Um, Depends on which PDF it is. But if the Necrons are choosing the fight, it's probably just going to be a massacre. I do not like how Zoran acts as a whole. Not a good player, not a funny guy. That might just be me. I who does Zoran play? Who does Zoran play in? I actually forget because I just think of them as the characters. Um, what are your thoughts on Rogel Dorn's colossal chain blade? I didn't know he had a colossal chain blade. Any thoughts on why Eldar are so arrogant that they gave birth to a chaos god? Hey, humanity gave birth to three of them. Eldar only have one. The other three are all peoples. Um, I bought Aggressors because I read about them in a book once, and I absolutely love them. That's how everyone. Uh, gets into 40k. And if you just have enough cool stuff, if you have enough cool fluff, that will get people interested in the setting. That's how everyone gets interested in the setting, is they find something they think is cool. If I could make one change in GW, I'd bring back Battlefleet Gothic. What would you do? Excuse me. Yeah, I definitely. There's a bunch of things I'd want to do. A lot of it is I don't want GW to spread themselves. I know they can't do everything, but Battlefleet Gothic's a pretty good idea. What is your opinion on the Horus heresy? Is it justified, or is it Horus being a little child? Horus didn't is as far as my understanding of the heresy, Horus doesn't willingly betray the Emperor. Not really. He gets messed up by Erebus, doesn't he? Like he wouldn't willingly succumb to chaos. He kind of gets conned into it. Um, like there were sort of reasons, but he's mostly ends up being a meat puppet. I didn't really think his fall was all that interesting. That he didn't like it didn't really. I think of all the people to fall to chaos, or have reasons to dislike the Emperor. Horus is kind of weirdly weak, even though he's the central figure. Zoran is a Psyker Lauren. I thought Lauren. I didn't like Lauren at first, but I thought he was funny as the story went along. Um, it was like normal stories with PDF and Guard. Not every PDF or Guard regiment fights in an apocalyptic battle, but most should be very normal, like dealing with normal rebels and stuff. Yeah, I definitely can do some stories about that sort of thing. So Rogue Doran's Colossal Chainblade is a copy pasta about that. Okay. I haven't seen the copy pasta, but I could imagine. Um, what do you think about a story from the perspective of a psyker librarian, not only from in battle but also how they've treated by everyone else? Yeah, I'd kind of be interested in doing a psyker story. I've sort of been scooting away from it because I actually didn't know that much about psychers or like how exactly stuff works, but I kind of have a better idea of it now, so that might be a thing to do. I think it would be funny if the Black Library made a story of that other races started to worship Big Daddy E and how the Imperium would react to that. Um, I'm sure there are uh, beings that do, but I think most Xenos races don't, given that the inherent xenophobia of the Emperor's outlook. Which, like, maybe there are, but I don't think there'd be that many. Why do bolters take so much to be manufactured? Um, Probably because of all of the holy hoopla that's surrounding them. Also, that you need certain materials for stuff, I guess. Um, Last Linkachu, Grogol Dorn's colossal chain blade is too weighty for any but an elite sisterhood. Raised from infancy to adore the Leviathan at his disposal, expands ever outwards to onlookers. Less. Okay. I kind of get it. 40k needs more overpowered halflings. Um, yeah, ratlings are kind of. I don't know how I feel about ratlings. Do I hate Erebus? He did in fact ruin everything, and he's just a jerk. That's what ratlings are. Do I have any plans for Tau's story? Contemplating it. Galvesa gives so many opportunities for interesting stories with people changing their ideologies to the greater good. It's something to think about. We all hate Erebus, yes, but does everyone hate Erebus? The Imperium just kills them to see Gravity and Red and Black short stories. Um, Voice of the Emperor available to listen to on a Borders Prince's channel. It has a Xenos race worshipping the Emperor. That's something interesting. Might go take a look. I'm a Lord Deep Nerd. Um, I I'm trying to like learn the deep lore, but what is the longest name in 40,000 40k? I'm sure it's like a Necron name where they keep adding on to it, but I have no idea. I would love to see maybe some Magos of Mechanicum. You should come up with some amazing story. You could come up with some amazing stories about some Magos explorer running around on his ark finding ancient vaults. That'd be kind of neat. I do like the go unearth scary things and find horrible things along with crazy secrets. That's a lot of fun. Um, did you see the old live action 40k movie? If not, watch it. It's glorious. I have not. Oh, what is it called? I only know about the Ultramarines movie, which I've seen parts of and will eventually watch. But boy, oh boy, does that look kind of sad. I remember the Mass Effect story where some aliens started worshiping the Reaper because they hoped they will stop killing them. Maybe some Xenos would do the same with Imperium. Possible. He doesn't deserve his name spelt correctly. As I remember Horus' last moments, he did return to himself and weep about what he did. I also don't think he didn't betray the Emperor with his own will. Um, Maybe a Border Prince is a cool dude. I've done lore chats in his channel. I'll take a look. I actually haven't looked at the Border Prince before. The longest names are Custodies. I wouldn't be surprised. What are your thoughts on Loyalist Clone of Fulgrim? I thought that was a super interesting idea. I haven't read the actual book where it's from, but I think that's very interesting. Um, are you the Emperor of Mankind? If so, I'd like to hear your voice. If I was the Emperor of Mankind and I spoke in his voice, uh, whatever I said, you'd like be psychically compelled to do. And maybe I have already spoken to you, and your brain just couldn't handle it, and now you're just living your life with the psychic suggestion I've put into your heads. Have fun dealing with that one. Is Zinch made of alien souls? Um, I don't know. Gloriously bad is kind of is a kind of glorious. Yes, Ultramarines movie is absolutely terrible. I'm curious. I'm morbidly curious. The Ultramarines movie is quite the thing, but not in the right way. That is what I've heard. The other ones seem humanoid. Is shower considered heretical towards Nurgle? Only if it is a shower that doesn't clean you. I'm sure you can be showered with all sorts of liquids that are suitable and pleasing to Nurgle. Horus and Alpha Legion have the weakest reason to fall to chaos. Yeah, there's different. Like I like nice, rich betrayal stories, and actually am a little disappointed with. I don't know all of Alpha Legion other than like they knew that if they joined Horus, like the reason they fell is like a weird part of their weird, complicated story thing. Um, Inquisitor Warhammer 40K 1996 short film, full 30 minutes are on YouTube. I'll take a look at that. I actually didn't know there was a live action one. You should speak in the Emperor's voice and tell everyone to subscribe. I don't know how deep I could get. The Emperor would kind of would sound. He'd have a really deep voice. Um, I'd imagine he'd sort of sound like this. That's kind of my best Emperor. What would I do if I had psychic powers? What would I try to do with them? I do have psychic powers. I have the psychic ability to say words and have stories appear in your heads and be interested in them. That's my psychic power. Both movies are free on YouTube. Yeah, I want to check it out. I went and grabbed live action 1996 for you. Oh, cool. I will copy that and take a look at that once we're done here. Will the Grot Revolution and the Red Gabo ever make an appearance in my stories? Possibly. I could do a Gretchen story and do something with the Revolutionary. I forget what they're called. The Grot Revolutionary Committee. That's what they're called. Um, is there an instance of a Space Marine chapter having their gene seed flaws repaired? I mean, isn't that the whole Primaris thing? The Lamenters tried to have it work. Is the Nurg made of old ones remain? Is the Nurg made of old ones remains? Kind of looks like one. All that dead toad. Um, I don't know. I thought I'm losing my train of thought. There was something about dead old ones. I don't remember. Um, they were told to join by the Cabal, and for some reason decided that they were more trustworthy than Big Daddy E. That's a lot of falling to chaos. Is for some reason you trusted this extremely sketchy being that you don't know instead of your father. But it's not like people listen to terrible friends instead of their parents all the time. How many fast food chains does an old one eat? I don't know where that's going. Yes, old ones were energy beings by the time Nurgle had a name. Yeah, Nurgle came about during the Black Plague, if my lore brain remembers correctly, and that was millions and millions of years after the old ones were gone. I mean, did anyone really trust the Primaris? Do people really think they won't develop interesting traits? They already have on some of them. I know the Blood Angels ones haven't lost the black or red, the black rage and the red thirst. You can make a cool Mechanicum voice by running your own voice through a voice synthesizer if you ever wanted to have a Magos story in your story. Maybe. We'll see. Excuse me. Yeah, that was gross. I mean, they probably have more trustworthy than others, as they're essentially firstborn Marines. Pedro Camacho de Santos, have you ever considered doing some Underhive, like an Underhive story? Yeah, I'd like to do some more Underhive stuff. People being dumb is the reason I kind of don't like the Horus Heresy as an era. Half the time, they don't justify the Emperor being distant or cruel enough to drop uh, "Lol, be evil," though. Um, I think you can fix it. There's enough interesting stuff in the Horus Heresy that can be made make more sense. I don't think it's far from. I don't think it's far off. Would it make more sense for Nurgle to come around now with Big Rona? Nurgle already has been around. How am I doing? I'm starting to get stuffed up. I'm probably gonna wrap up the stream in a little bit. How do you feel about the TTS 29? That is the one where is TTS 29 where they're about. That's the most recent one, yeah. I mean, if that's, I think that is. I like it. I'm interested to see where it's going. Blood Angels have lost one Primaris because of psychic aliens, and he went Super Rage, not Thirst though. Oh, I thought the Blood Angels had absolutely proved that they still had the Red Thirst and the Black Rage, but I don't know. Ever thought of rapid fire plasma guns? Um, I don't know. Do they exist? Will I make simple animations for my story, like TTS, for example? I don't know anything about animation. Um, I'd need to get like animate like programs and stuff and like make it happen. But I will never say never. Ever thought of rapid fire plasma guns? I already did that. No, they would explode. Yeah, probably. That's kind of the whole jam of plasma weapons is they're too much energy to contain safely. Favorite dreadnought pattern? I don't know. I don't know that much about the. I saw a thing recently about the different dreadnought patterns. I kind of like the standard one. It's kind of that one's the one I recognize the most. Which of the Primarchs do you think needs a hug the most? Um, Magnus. He's just made a bunch of bad choices. He wants to be a good noodle. He's just not. While we were on the movie topic, have you ever watched Hell's Reach? Yes, Hell's Reach is incredible. I've also seen Guardsman by the same guy, which is also pretty awesome. Nergal is actually the name of Sumerian demon god of pestilence. I did know that. I did know that Nergal came from somewhere. Um, I may have answered this already. Have you considered doing any non 40k stories? I have done. I actually have done a non Warhammer 40k story. Um, It is The Ruined King and the Artist. It is a couple days ago I put it up. Um, I could do it, but that's the issue is it's not my brand. People are here because they want to see 40k stories. If I did non 40k stories, they're not going to be as popular. Um, I can do them. I can start working them in. I didn't mind doing the other one, uh, but it is a thing where they're just not going to be as popular. Um, Primaris are just another way for GW to rinse money out of suckers. Forget the £100 that you spent on those Marines. Look at these new ones for twice the price. Um, I think that GW could make a lot more money and have happier customers if they made some different changes. I'm not going to comment specifically on what they do, um, but I absolutely think there's a better technique to make money, and I think most of it is not. I think eventually it's gonna. I think what they should do is kind of do what Marvel did with the MCU. Of essentially, they make tons of money on movies with their intellectual property, and comic books have more become like a testing ground for future movies. And I think that's what GW should do now. They should like drop the fact that they're a model company and they're a games company, but their intellectual property could be used in so many different ways that make them a ton of money that people would love, and they're just not doing it for whatever reason. There's so many things they could expand on and make a ton of money on, and they don't do smart things with their IP. They have done a lot of things that I don't think are very smart with their IP. Um, is it possible to trigger a war between Khorne and Slaanesh? There's always a war between Khorne and Slaanesh. There's always a war between all of the powers of chaos. The weakness of Horus' faith to chaos makes the end of his reign better, and the fall of Big Daddy E as he didn't mean it and it was a mistake. It makes it more tragic in some ways. The Vansar Arachnids have automatic plasma guns. I don't know. That's deeper into the lore than I know. Deo Dreadnoughts are the best because they look like chickens. I believe you. Cute plasma gun. Time to modify it for being a good boy. Khorne and Slaanesh go to war all the time. Yep. Have you seen any of Sodaz's animations? I have not, but I can definitely look into that. So, a person without a soul in 40k has immunity from going insane whilst in warp travel. I don't know. Of course, being a person without a soul in 40k tends to make other people go crazy. Any thoughts on doing the Spirit of Eternity tours, the galaxy, and hates anything story? I don't. Spirit of Eternity. That's a ship. I don't know if the Spirit of Eternity is. I need more information. Plasma casters are different than plasma guns. Everything Mechanicum weaponry is dumb. I don't know that much about the Mechanicum. I want to learn more about it. They have plasma crossbows. Oh, come on. Plasma crossbows are awesome. Actually, Mechanicum weaponry is far superior than the standard one used by IG and Space Marines. I'm down. Plasma crossbows are cool. I think everything in 40k needs to be like bigger and stupider. Bigger and stupider, and then but like grounded in interesting characters that they have to live in this stupid setting. They do it with games. What if the Technocracy one with the face displays as it's growing bigger than the Tau one? I don't know. Sea Watchers of the Throne Book 1. I think there would be a non-40k audience for a 40k film done like Astartes. Absolutely. People who don't know anything about 40k watch Astartes, and that's kind of what I'm talking about for GW's IP. You can easily make 40k content that's accessible to anybody that they would love and that would get people into the hobby or just throwing money at GW. What would I do if I hadn't got a million subs? I'd get a cool plaque. I don't know. I don't know. That'd be really awesome. What if the emperor played smart and put science and logic into religious books? It doesn't work because there are things that religion provides uh, that are not provided by science. People want to know what, like, science can tell you what things are, but like religious things provide people with purpose. Like it's like how do you live your life? How do you be a good person? How do you live a life that's meaningful? And that kind of wisdom is found in religious books and isn't going to be answered or satisfied by science. So the emperor trying to cut out this thing that people use to find purpose in themselves led them to find purpose elsewhere, and that caused people to fall to chaos. The problem with 40k entering mainstream with movies and comics is that everyone is the bad guy and the general public will have a hard time grasping that concept. I don't think so. Um, I don't think people have a hard time grasping dystopian settings. It used to be all the rage. Where did all of Earth's water went? I like that episode of TTS. That's fun. Gone, reduced to atoms. Being a person without a soul makes everyone around you uncomfortable unless they're used to it. Being a refined null like a Klexus makes people go insane, and psychers piss their pants from miles away. Yeah, not having a soul's like really bad. I would suggest a VR Terminator Space Hulk game would be good. Yep, I think that's absolutely the sort of. I think GW should go more into video games and put more work into them. Because when they have games that are really good, that's like everyone I know who's not super old school. They get into it because of video games. That's how I got into it. Um, They got a VR game in the works right now. I look forward to it. Sister of Battle. Ooh, that'd be cool. The only reason that Van SARs are able to have that automatic plasma guns is because they have secret S2C that is powerful and advanced allows them to do it. Yeah, that sounds like pretty typical of the Mechanicus people have secret things. People have secret things that give them secret cool tech that they don't want to give up. Spirit of Eternity was Dark Age of technology ship controlled by an advanced AI. Didn't go crazy, but did think everything and everyone was stupid, and then left back into the warp in a huff. That'd be kind of fun. Just like follow a an AI around. Well, you guys are going to follow an AI around in Gutsmangles, boys. Perhaps VR Princeps Titanicus game. That would be freaking awesome. Be a giant, essentially a giant kaiju stomping through things. That'd be fun. Is there any main website that you go for Warhammer fan fiction? What is probably your favorite fan written story? Um, there's a bunch of really good stuff. I gotta say, it's not a fan. My current favorite fan written thing is Guardsman because it's really simple and it encapsulates everything that is cool about 40K fairly simply. It's not a fan fiction, but it is fan written content. I really like Guardsman. It's so cool. Doo, doo, doo. 50K and Age of Dust. Okay. Thanks Soul. I thought about it when Space Hulk first came out. Are the Tyranids origins from the Andromeda Galaxy? Um, I think they're leaning towards the Tyranids were made when one of the Catan went blorch. They're like a weird curse. But that's my speculative thing. Microsoft Flight Simulator with just with Titans. That could be pretty interesting. Oh, Fresh Prince of 40K is also amazing. I had never heard of that. Oh boy. Does anybody have? Oh, let's see. I want the Black Library as a Custodes player to make a book about the Eyes of the Emperor, something along that lines. I don't know that much about the Custodes. It's a video game series called Rad or Remote Control Dandy in Japan. It's the best mecha kaiju game thing. I believe you. I am not a huge. I'm not. I don't have a whole lot of information on kaiju, but I do like kaiju movies. Uh, Favorite exterminatus weapon, the biggest one. Go to sleep, my friend. It is late, even in my time zone. I'm probably gonna end the stream in a little bit. This was kind of where I got tired last time. I got about an hour and a half in, and it makes me appreciate people that are doing streams for like 5 hours. I don't know how people do it for so much. Imagine an open world 40K game which allows you to choose your own path to a degree as you travel through the galaxy, meeting species, character locations. Even a story game in that nature would be nice. Oh yeah, and add corruption. That'd be really cool. Get get good Bethesda to make that. Um, I don't know if Bethesda would do it now. They've sort of succumbed to some bad game habits. Opinion on why the Black Templars are so cool. I because they're angry, because they're really mad, and they're on crusade all the time. Like the reason that they work so well is because they are extreme in an extreme setting without making them dumb and overpowered. In from my experience, it's like they kill a lot, they die a lot, and that's very 40K, which is very appealing. They're just like it's just more grimdark, more explosions, more anger. Grah! Malal and Malus. Malal and Malus are kind of weird because they're like nihilism, which is like I don't like myself and I want everything to be destroyed. but that's already kind of treading on Nurgle's territory of eventually Nurgle is going to bring about complete entropy and the destruction of everything to the universe. So it's like I don't quite get what I don't like I said I'm not against Malal or Malice, but I don't know where you'd go with it. I guess you play as a person with a remote control running around a 50-story robot you control with buttons while you control the human with the analog stick. Sounds like fun to me. My favorite game idea right now is still an Exodite survival game. I think there should be more Exodite stuff, period. They are insane even in the setting. Yes, the Black Templars are. Uh, best last word roasts from Space Marines. Oh, I don't know. I can't think of any off the top of my head. I'm so bad at remembering like story quotes. I remember things better when they're like in movies. Um, thoughts on Cyberpunk Alpha build 2077? From what I heard, it's a mess, but I don't know. I haven't played it. I am not playing video games as they come out. If something's good, I might check it out, but I don't. I'm not waiting on new releases. The biggest victory of Malal is that nobody believes he exists, even GW. I like that as a line. That's fun. Exodites are only cool because of dinosaurs. Yes, because dinosaurs are cool. What is wrong with elves riding dinosaurs? Why doesn't everyone want elves riding dinosaurs? Why is GW not built on elves riding dinosaurs? 40K is so extreme, but it's not. It's too silly to have people riding dinosaurs and fighting. I think that'd be interesting if you did more like if the Chaos Gods had a more obvious appeal. Um, yeah, that if you looked at the good aspects of it, I think it would make more sense. I thought that was a good thing in fantasy because archosaurs also exist, and those ones are Godzillas that humans can ride. Let's see, because the Eldar are already full of themselves. Basilisk Magnus best artillery. Um, yeah, already riding dinosaurs with squig offs. Guys, I think I'm getting to the end of this. I'm pretty tired. Appreciate all of y'all joining me for the stream, and thanks once again to Blasto uh, for the super chat. That's very exciting. Y'all have a good one. I hope you had fun watching my release for today for De Emperor. I had a lot of fun writing that one. It was super silly to record. The wall never ends. See y'all. Y'all have a wonderful night.